Hi developer friend. In this video, I'll show you the best 5 keyboards for programmers to use year-round. Tested and reviewed. If you would like more videos like this, please leave a comment and subscribe. For many programmers, having a good keyboard can significantly improve workflow. Spending countless hours coding requires a keyboard comfortable to type on, switches that feel light and responsive, and features like macro programmable keys. Most of my recommendations for the best keyboards for coding are compact as they're easier to transport or to set up in tight workspaces. While many of these picks are mechanical, I've included a few that aren't to give a better range of options. Below are my top recommendations for the best keyboards for programming. Best keyboard for programming. Nuphy Air 75. At first glance, this colorful, little unit might seem like an odd choice as the best keyboard for programming since you likely haven't heard of it. So, allow us to introduce you to the Nuphy Air 75. It's a mechanical keyboard with low-profile switches and keycaps, which are much shorter and more ergonomically designed than standard mechanical switches and keycaps. It means it's more comfortable to use as you can place your wrists directly on your work surface and still reach the keys without straining your wrists upwards, similar to a laptop keyboard. Thanks to its compact size, it's easy to tote around, especially if you purchase the pleather carrying case. Even though it's a compact keyboard, it still has dedicated arrow keys to make skipping through lines of code simple. Plus, all keys are macro programmable using the companion software. As it's a wireless keyboard, you don't have to worry about carting around cables with it. You'll need to remember the USB receiver, but even if you forget it, you can connect the keyboard with up to 3 devices using Bluetooth. Overall, if you're in the market for a standalone keyboard to use as a daily driver, this is the best mechanical keyboard for programming I've tested. Best budget keyboard for programming. Obinslab and Pro 2. Perhaps you tend to be a little rough with your tech and don't want to spend the money on a premium option. Or maybe you're just looking for a cheap but reliable keyboard. Whatever the case, the Obinslab and Pro 2 is the best budget keyboard for coding I've tested. Despite its low price point, its build quality is excellent, with a solid plastic chassis and textured PBT keycaps, which are more durable than ABS keycaps. It also has outstanding connectivity options, allowing you to pair it with up to 4 devices using Bluetooth, which is more than standard, as most keyboards only support pairing with up to 3 devices. Alternatively, you can use it in a wired mode with its charging cable. For a bit of added flair, there are additional colored keycaps and an included keycap puller, so you personalize your board a bit. In terms of personalization, this keyboard comes in a range of switch types from different brands like Cherry, Gateron, and Kale, so you'll be able to find a configuration of the board that feels right for you. Best full-size keyboard for programming. Razer Pro Type Ultra. If you're constantly entering in numerical data or working with spreadsheets, you may want something with a numpad. In this case, I recommend the Razer Pro Type Ultra. Its all-white design is aesthetically pleasing and office-oriented, so it lacks a lot of the aggressive gamer features found on other Razer keyboards, like RGB backlighting or a prominent logo. Plus, it has a plushy wrist rest to keep you comfortable during long work days. Like the others on this list, this keyboard is wireless, so while it's a bit too big to bring around in a backpack, you can pop it into any permanent setup without worrying about cable management. You can pair it with up to 3 devices using Bluetooth, and it's compatible with Razer's productivity dongle, which means you can use this keyboard alongside the Razer Pro Click Mini without needing a separate USB receiver. This keyboard only comes with linear Razer yellow switches, which provide a very light and smooth typing experience. But if you want a bit of resistance from a tactile switch, you can check out the previous version, the Razer Pro type. This older model uses tactile Razer orange switches with a distinct tactile bump, so you know when a key's been registered. However, it lacks an included wrist rest, so you'll have to get that separately. Best non-mechanical keyboard for programming. Logitech MX Keys Mini. While the previous keyboards are all mechanical, you might not like the feeling or sound of that type of keyboard, in which case I recommend the Logitech MX Keys Mini. It's nearly identical in performance to the enduringly popular Logitech MX keys, with the only major difference between the two is their size and connectivity options. The MX Mini has a compact form factor with dedicated arrow keys and a full-function row with media hotkeys, so it's easy to carry around, and you don't lose any functionality. You can connect it wirelessly with up to 3 devices using Bluetooth, and it's also compatible with Logitech's Bolt receiver. It's important to note that this keyboard doesn't come with a receiver, so you'll have to use it with Bluetooth or get a Bolt receiver separately. Despite that, it's the best choice for a standalone, non-mechanical keyboard, thanks to its comfortable low profile and satisfying typing experience. Best Mac keyboard for programming. Apple Magic Keyboard with Touch ID and Numeric Keypad. For programmers already in the Mac ecosystem, the Apple Magic Keyboard with Touch ID and Numeric Keypad is your best option. Although it's not technically the best keyboard I've tested, it's the best to use within a Mac setup as you won't find the level of Mac compatibility on any other keyboard. Plus, it matches the sleek aesthetic of other Mac products, like the Magic Mouse too. Although it only pairs with one device at once using Bluetooth, it works seamlessly with Apple's Universal Control feature. It means you can use this one keyboard with compatible Mac devices placed nearby, so you have control over multiple devices. The Touch ID unlocks your M1 chipped Apple devices with a simple fingerprint, though it's important to note that this feature doesn't work with M1 chipped iPads, so you'll still need to input your password or PIN even if this keyboard is connected to the iPad. Under the hood, the scissor switches provide a light typing experience that's similar in feeling to MacBook keyboards, making it a great choice if you're used to coding on your laptop. My recommendations are what I think are currently the best keyboards for programming for most people. I factor in the price, feedback from users, and availability. Be careful not to get too caught up in the details. While no keyboard is perfect for every use, most are good enough to please almost everyone, and the differences are often not noticeable unless you look for them. In the video description, you will find the Amazon links to view and buy one of these very useful keyboards for programmers. Write in the comments which one you chose. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my review of these keyboards, then please share it with your friends and colleagues. If you have any questions or feedback, please drop a comment. I hope you liked the video. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.